Proclamations and the recognitions of citizens by the mayor. I think the recognition of Cobb County Habitat for Humanity Award for the City of Newport facade grant.
Well, as of now, Mayor, there's nobody here representing Habitat. So, I mean, we might wait and see if somebody shows up and come back to that.
Okay. I think I got ahead of myself in any case. If you have, everybody's had a chance to peruse the minutes from the last meeting. If so, we'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
Motion to approve is written.
Second.
It's been properly seconded. We'll approve by the normal sign of aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion carries. And no one's here from Habitat. Okay, communications from the city administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing that I have to mention is, I'm sure probably you all have noticed that the work on the new traffic lights downtown is about to wrap up. The light at the library is up and running. It's now operational, has been since last week. And they're finishing up over at on Mims Avenue at the bank. And I haven't spoken with them, but based on where they seem to be on it, I went to the bank today and stood there and watched them for a little bit. And I would anticipate that it'll be up and running shortly, if not this week, certainly probably next week. And so that's coming along nicely, and that's all we got.
Wow.
Okay.
I've got just a few words. Sort of like every week, it might sound like a broken record, and I think what I say comes from all the aldermen. I just sort of speak up a little bit sometimes, but I would still like to thank every department, the fire department, street department, the rec department, the recreation, police, fire, a whole bunch. People would have to know in this city sort of what goes on. There's a lot of things that, you know, all year round that these people do that they don't realize. And if you know about what goes on 4 hours, after hours and all that, that the people on the job and stuff, it's really amazing to see what goes on. I just want to compliment all the departments for what they do. They appreciate it, and I know all the aldermen do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
I'd also like to recognize Chief Schultz and his department for a successful drug bust they had in one of the local hotels here recently. I've talked to this personally and professionally to some of the officers within the department. I think that when we talk about our downtown revitalization, the police department plays a huge role in that. And we certainly want to give those people that are giving us a bad name and bad reputation the ability to ease on down the road. So, Chief, good job on that. Appreciate you and what your officers done on that. Good job.
Anyone else? Any more comments? If not, appointment of boards, commissions, and committees. Apparently, there's nothing on the agenda for that. And reports from committees, members of council, and other officers. Tanner Preservation Alliance. Gary, would you like to bring us up to date on what you mentioned to me earlier today?
Sure. We'll do that this morning. Thanks, Mayor. That was fun.
No thanks.
I just dislocated my hip.
Yeah, thanks, Big D.
I was looking at you come down the hallway and ran inside that pew. You don't have that thing.
You didn't know you were thinking about that.
The schedule that I've gotten with the architects, they're coming tomorrow morning to do what should be the final walkthrough to put sort of all the pieces together of the Tanner building and the plans that they're going to have for the renovation. The drawings should be back to us mid-February, depending on how long the Appalachian Regional Commission takes to approve the drawings and give them back to us. And hopefully it won't be too long, because we're not digging sewer lines, so it doesn't involve an environmental approval and all that sort of thing. If we get those back quickly, the bid process is a couple weeks, so end of February, early March, hopefully, with the bid and construction. And last time we estimated it was a 100-day build-out, so 3-ish months. So May, June, hopefully, we would be cutting the ribbon on the Tanner building as it is. So, and of course, there will be unforeseen hiccups that we're going to run into and set that timeline completely off. But right now, optimistically, that's what we're looking at.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. Carlene, you have anything to add?
I do not.
That's unusual.
You'll hear about this later.
No comment on it.
Old business, unfinished business. Consideration of second reading of ordinance number 2018-17, budget amendment for Newport Grammar School.
And Mayor, I'll read to capture that ordinance into the record. It's ordinance 2018-17, an ordinance of amending the annual operating budget and capital program of the city of Newport, Tennessee, fiscal year 2018-2019 for Newport Grammar School.
Need a motion on that?
Need a motion?
I'd make a motion to.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion on the board to approve the amendment as read. It's been properly seconded. Approved by the normal sign of aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. New business, consideration of first reading of ordinance number 2019-01, budget amendment for the city of Newport.
And likewise, Mayor, I'll read the caption of that ordinance. It's ordinance 2019-01, an ordinance of amending the annual operating budget and capital program for the city of Newport, Tennessee, fiscal year 2018-2019.
You need a motion on the first reading?
Yes. Motion.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the board to approve that budget amendment for the city of Newport as presented. Will approve by the normal sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Question to the motion. Hearing none, motion carries. Consideration of hiring a full-time firefighter for an open position. Randy?
Mr. Mayor, Tim Pack retires at the end of this month due to his age and a requirement that he has to retire. We already replaced him, y'all did, with Stephen Nall. Middle of December, our training officer, Shannon Ball, came and told us that he's accepted a position in Port Orange, Florida, a very good position. And Shannon's last day will be this Friday. So the person you've got before is Kobe McGaha. He's already went through their civil service process. He's at the top of the list. He will be replacing Shannon. Tim's replacement is already there. But he won't come to work until February. So that's what's before you now.
I'll make a motion to hire Kobe McGaha.
Second. Is he here?
No.
He's not here?
No,
Okay.
he is actually a firefighter at Cotton County Fire Department. And I believe he's working tonight at the Cotton County Fire
He
Department.
comes highly recommended.
So, yeah, I know Mr. Calfee's here from our board. If you've got any questions of him, I'm sure he'd answer them, but he'd probably prefer I did. But anyway, thank you a lot. We appreciate it. This isn't adding to, it's just keeping us where we're already at once Shannon leaves. And by the way, let me say publicly, Shannon has done an excellent job as our training officer. We're not fortunate to lose him, but he's fortunate to gain the position with the education and the knowledge that he has. He will be a benefit to Port Orange. So publicly, I do want to thank Shannon. He's a good friend of all of us. Of course, I coached him in Little League football, so I've known him for a while. But anyway, thanks a lot.
Thank you. I heard a motion to approve. Did we get a second?
Second.
You hear Tina, Michael, second.
All right, we have a motion on the board to approve the hiring of Kobe McGaha for a vacant firefighter position. We'll approve by the normal sign of aye. Aye. All opposed? Question to the motion. Hearing none, Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. McGahan. Bids and purchases and expenses. Consideration of bids for 2 used trucks for the street department.
Yes, we put out bids for these 2 trucks, and we've received only response from one, and it was Venture Trucking Company, and he submitted bids for 2 of them. One of them is a 2011 F-350, and the other is 2012 F-350. And we budgeted this money already this year. We already have it in our budget for it.
Are you satisfied with the trucks being,
Yep.
I mean, that's what I,
Yep, I've looked at them.
okay.
Make a motion, we do it.
I second it.
Okay.
Lorraine, second.
All right. We have a motion on the board then. It's been properly seconded to approve the purchase of 2 used trucks for the street department, one 2011 Ford F-350 and one 2012 Ford F-350. Questions to the motion? If not, we'll approve by the normal sign of aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you all.
Good job.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Comments from citizens?
Just for the record, Mayor, one thing that this is going to allow us to do, sometime back when we were in the process of trying to get our equipment built up, one of our goals was to try to have the ability to more efficiently clear the streets during a snow event. There were times 3 or 4 years ago when we would be down to 1 vehicle is all we had trying to clear the streets. Because we only had 3 that were capable, and it seemed like 2 would tire up and we'd be down to 1, and it'd always be the big dump truck. We couldn't get down a small alley or down a small street. And so Ben and I discussed it then, and our plan was to try to increase our fleet up to where we had smaller, agile vehicles that we could put a snowplow on and get into the smaller streets and try to get the streets cleared faster. And so fortunately, we've only had 1 snow event this year. I don't know how that'll hold up, but having these trucks are going to allow us to get more vehicles on the street during a snow event, clearing the streets faster and being smaller and more agile to be able to get on the secondary streets better. So just to get that into the record, that was one of the things that we were trying to accomplish with the purchase of these vehicles.
Okay. Questions?
I think it's better to have them and never need them than never
Yeah.
not have them.
And that's why we went with used vehicles. We didn't want to put a lot of money, because those size vehicles, to have a vehicle that's large and heavy and got the ability to push a plow, you've got to have a larger vehicle. And we didn't, they're very expensive to buy them new. And so that's why we budgeted to buy 2 used vehicles. You know, some people will say, well, why are you buying used vehicles? And that's why. It's going to have, they won't be used every day all the time. But they won't be just used for snow. You know, we'll have them rigged up in the winter, but in the summer they'll be, during nicer weather, they'll be available for other things too. But it's going to allow us to have 2 vehicles ready to go with the snow.
Ben, your boys in the street department do a real good job clearing the street. I always appreciate you.
Any other comments? All right, comments from citizens. Sir, limit 5 minutes.
I'm here on behalf of Newport Bike Club. We have the regarding issue of bike lanes and lack of respect from the vehicular motorist people who drive cars. I was coming to oppose an idea of bike lanes and signs that state that there are bicyclists on the road and do share the road. We've had in the past month, and this whole month, we've had probably at least numerous occasions where we have been forced off the road by vehicles, and we're just abiding by what we know.
Or you talked about any particular street you're thinking about?
The biggest issue we have is County High School right there, from the JSK where the sidewalk ends all down, because I live up there on top of the hill, and it's hard to get in and out of there with traffic coming in and out, and we have issues with trying to work around that. And another issue we have is right there from where Brooklyn Pizzeria is on up to Walmart. There's nothing there as far as room-wise for a bicyclist to get in and out. By state law, if I do recall, it's 3 feet, no less, for a passing vehicle.
James, do you have any ideas or as far as regulations for putting in bike lanes or what the requirements would be?
I do not, Mayor. I know that in some towns, they have received transportation grants at different times to try to add bike lanes. I don't know what might be out there in the area. You might have seen something or know about something that's out there. I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen a state law that mandates a bike lane. I don't. Maurice, have you ever seen anything?
If you have them, there's specifications what they are.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And if you don't have them, then there's just the generalized rule, you've got the flow with traffic and of course, the markers that are required during the low light hours.
Do they, where we are in town.
And I have working headlights and, you know, those signals to let people know that I am there on my bicycle, actually.
It's hard for cars to even get through, let alone put a bike lane.
Yeah, there's going to be
Have to
some...
be careful.
Some tight restrictions there
Yeah.
in terms of, especially the roads you're thinking about.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have the capacity to put a bike lane on those streets, but I guess we can research it and see what we can come up with, see what the restrictions are and what capacity you need to have a bike lane, and we'll definitely look into it.
Thank you, sir.
How many members do you have in your club?
Currently, we have approximately 6, but we do ride at least 90% of the year, and we have that issue with being able to have the room in the respect of regards of motorists. And we need to get new people at least every couple of weeks, so it's a growing club as it is.
I think we might be able to look at state routes, but municipal routes are going to be very difficult to do anything with.
I agree.
Just pick where you ride.
Any other comments?
Thank you.
We will do some due diligence and hopefully we'll have some information maybe at the next meeting or maybe the next couple of meetings.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other comments from citizens? Okay, hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
It didn't take long. We have the motion to adjourn. It's been properly seconded. We are now adjourned.